Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Edge Designs. It's been a while. I say that every video. That should be the catchphrase. Instead of welcome back to Edge Design, it should just be like, it's been a while. So in today's video, I'm just going to show you guys a brand new cowl that I've created with my partner Quest for Effects on Instagram. He works out of Blender, and he's also now my 3D printer. I got rid of my 3D printers because I kept having errors and I never had the time to actually study to learn how to use a 3D printer properly. So anytime something went wrong with it, or if code wasn't working or anything like that, I would just get frustrated and basically try and YouTube the answer, and if I couldn't find the answer, I would just give up. So I had somebody else for a while locally printing my stuff, but the quality wasn't as good as I kind of need to pursue these endeavors. If there's a lot of post-processing work to do, it's not really worth doing something, in my opinion, because I don't get enough business out of doing this. It is just a hobby, but it would be nice to make back a little bit, because I do think some of the stuff that we make here is pretty cool. Currently we have a few designs. We have the 1989 Batman cowl that I sculpted. I don't know if I do have one down here. One second. We'll get to the new cowl here in a second. This is the 1989 Batman cowl that I sculpted, and I have a mold for, and it's got that stitching detail at the back, which most other makers don't include. So I can make one of these. This is just regular urethane, 24-inch head. I still make the hybrid. You can kind of see it there. It's this cowl. Turn it a little bit. That cowl right there, it's a hybrid of all three Michael Keaton Batman cowls. I still do make that, but in terms of like full with a neck cowl, those are the only two that I kind of want to do for right now, because the molds take up a lot of space. Oh, I do still have a Batman Beyond. So if you look back a few videos, you can see that there was a Batman Beyond cowl that I had made. I do still have the mold for that. I can make one for you. That is a solid 24-inch head. It will not fit any bigger. And due to it being a full face mask, I do cut the nostrils out, and I cut the mouth out and back the mouth up with mesh so that it kind of looks like the teeth from the comic books. So breathing is okay, but only for a 24-inch head. If you are anything bigger, I don't recommend that cowl, because it is pretty claustrophobic and it would be pretty easy to suffocate in it. So I don't recommend that cowl if you're a 24.5 or bigger than a 24. You don't want to wear that cowl. But until that mold runs down, I can offer that one. But two new cowls, and the way that I'm doing things going forward is helmet style cowls without a jaw and without a neck. So they just go on and come off. There's not a lot of people in the game that are doing them. Jordan's Ironic Armory is probably the most well known for his Captain America helmets, and he sticks to that similar style where everything is just kind of a slip on, slip off. He's come up with many of his own designs in that style, and that's kind of what we're doing, except for we're kind of adding the mutton chops, which I think is required for some characters, because Batman doesn't really look good if it's just like a Daredevil style and he doesn't have like that jawline. It's kind of important. So the first design that is ready, and the second design, which will be molded this week, it's ready. I have everything to mold it. It's ready for molding. I just haven't gotten to it yet. This is the first design. This is the Bat helmet, and this one is cast in blue. I only have two blue ones to show you today. This is a navy blue, and it is slightly weathered. As you can see, it's got weathering around the edges of it. It's got chrome carbon fiber details, and there's also some chrome on the back there, chrome carbon fiber. Now this particular one, the ears are backed up with mesh, but because of the like this needs to flex a little bit, I don't really trust the glue to hold up. So what I do is, if you order one, I just cut these out and I leave them without the mesh backed up. If you put a balaclava on, you don't even see your ears. But hearing in this cowl is incredible because I designed that in so that you can hear perfectly in it because your ears aren't covered. You do have some ventilation there for the ears. But here it is. It's a very tactical looking. I've heard a few people say that it kind of reminds them of the Christian Bale, probably because of the nose. The beak is pretty long. I've also heard people say they get Injustice 1 vibes from it, and that's kind of more in line with where I was going. But it's an original design. This one here is cast in Task 16, which is a more sturdy urethane. It's somewhere in between urethane rubber and resin, so it's got like the rigid nature of resin with a bit of the flexibility that you're accustomed to with urethane. So I'm gonna put this on. It's gonna look a little ridiculous because I'm not putting on the balaclava, and the beard has grown out quite a bit. So it's gonna look a little weird, but I've also heard people say it kind of looks like Gladiator-esque with the jaw detached, and if you are a fellow with a beard. I can do a multitude of different colors in this. I have done one in black with silver. It looks great. I'm also kind of wanting to do one in silver and do the carbon in black. I wonder what that would look like. So this is the Task 16 version. I'm gonna put it on. And the reason I went with Task 16 is that I wanted it to have that kind of helmet quality where it holds its shape and it feels kind of like a helmet, whereas urethane flops around. So it is a little bit more finicky to put on. It takes a little bit of finesse because there's not as much flex, but once you get it past your eyebrow, it just pops right on and it's incredibly comfortable. This is a 24-inch, but it can probably fit up to about a 24.5. So let's just put it on. So you just kind of start at the top of your head and you just work it down, get it over your ears, and then it should just pop right on. So like I said, my hearing in this is incredible because the ears are cut out. There's a little bit, like a tiny bit of like give. Like there's a little bit of finesse in here, which is why I think it might fit a 24.5-inch head, but it was designed as a 24 and it fits perfectly as a 24. And if you did have the balaclava, like you wouldn't see all this beard. Let's see if I can kind of bunch that up. You wouldn't see all that beard. And it also helps complete the look because you can kind of follow your jawline with the balaclava and it kind of hides this if you are a fellow with a beard. But I'm really impressed with this design. It's an original design. It's got some texture in the face and along the ear. It's got that carbon fiber detail here, which was not modeled into it. I actually achieved that look with this stuff here. This is actually like a friction tape for carpets. I cut some shapes out and put them on my master so that every one of these has this like cool carbon fiber look. And this particular one, because this is my personal copy, I trimmed the nose out because of the Task 16. It was just easier to put on. It was not impossible, but it is easier to slip on and slip off if that nose is trimmed out. On typical castings, it does have a full nose. This is a urethane casting, so I'm going to do a comparison in a minute here. So we have the Task 16 with the kind of hard exterior with a bit of flex so that it is comfortable. I'll do a full 360 in it. And I really like the navy blue version. The black looks great, but I think this one really shines in the navy blue. I'll put a picture up right here of them next to each other so you can see. I don't have a black one right now. I sold those. One thing with the Task 16 too is that sometimes you get some air bubbles. It sets up a lot quicker than the urethane does. So I wasn't prepared for that in the first few castings. And I did have, like you can see here, I had to do a little bit of a patch job. And also a little bit of a patch job here in the nose. But here's actually there's an air bubble right there. So each one of these might come with 1 or 2 air bubbles, but they're so minuscule that you don't even notice them unless I point them out to you. And I do my best to patch them up. So every one of these is probably like an A out of S tier casting, because there seems to always be 1 or 2 air bubbles, but I patch them. And with each one being weathered, if an area hasn't come out, I try to draw your attention to that area. So as you can see here, I did this intentionally. I put that sharp kind of weathering scratched metal right along it so that your eye is drawn to it in a positive way, instead of this being all one color and you see like a big air bubble right here. It's going to draw your eye in a negative way. So each one of these might have 1 or 2. These are, I consider these A castings out of an S tier ranking. And I list these from time to time in my costume group, but if you would like one, contact me. I do have the mold and I can make you one of these. And this thing is really cool. It's really comfortable. And if you're looking for a cowl that's easy on, easy off, like I said, the Task 16, it takes a bit of finesse to put on because it doesn't have as much flex as urethane, but I have a urethane version here that I'll do a comparison. So for one of these, just contact me and I'll hook you up with one. I'd love to get these in the hands of a lot more people so that I can get a couple of my stuff, a couple of my things out there. Like I said, I'm going in a different direction. I'm not doing these full cowls anymore because everyone does it. I decided I'm going to try and do something different. I'm going to do some helmet style original designs. And we've got some really cool designs coming. Stay tuned till the end of the video. I'm going to show you guys some female cowls that are coming. And 2 of them have been printed. My printer guy needed a new extruder, so I paid him shipping early so he can get a new extruder. And he's going to print the 3rd one, and then those are going to be shipped out to me. Also, each one of these designs is going to come with a neck. Well, there's an option to get a neck. It's going to be the same design with a an adjustment at the back that if you're a male, it will just be casted and sent to you, and it'll fit a typical male neck. And if you're a female, there will be a section at the back that I will just cut out and put it back together, and it will fit a female neck. So here is the urethane version, exact same cowl, but this one just slips on really easy, and it's got a lot more flex. You can even stretch. I find it's probably easiest to just kind of stretch these out and then just put it right on. So the urethane version still holds its shape. This is VitaFlex 50. 90% of cowl makers make stuff out of VitaFlex 40. It's a good shore for rubber looking cowls. But because I want these to be more of a helmet style, I still went with a harder shore of urethane. So it still has a bit of durability, but it's definitely a lot more flexible than the Task 16, which I typically make these in. If you contact me for one of these and you don't give me specifics in what exactly you're looking for, standard, they'll be made in the Task 16. If you're somebody who has trouble getting it on, getting it off, and you really want that flexibility that urethane provides, let me know that and I'll make you one in the more flexible VitaFlex 50. So here it is. This is just the urethane version, exact same cowl, exact same paint job. But this one had a bit more, I think, of a, oh yeah, right there. This one had an air bubble here, which I blended in with more urethane, and then again drew your attention to it so that you don't look at it in a negative way. It's just the nature of the beast when you're using chemicals in different parts of the world. There's so many variables that can mess up your mixture. And the Task 16 definitely sets up quicker. This stuff sets up a lot slower. I have a lot more working time with the urethane, so I can make sure I get better coverage, which is why this particular one only had one tiny little air bubble right there, which we fixed. This one also does have the nose. They will come with the nose shelf. Typically, unless you would like it removed, I can trim it out for you. These are the differences. I'll just hold them up. So there's one, and there's the other. Same cowl, just two different materials. So yeah, that is the bat helmet, is what we're calling it. Oh, I just noticed that this one I didn't trim out the, but those will be trimmed out on urethane castings. So those will be trimmed out for perfect hearing. I was wondering why I got a bit of an echo. It's because I didn't trim this one, I guess. But yeah, so same cowl, two different options for you. Well, lots of different options for you. You can choose the material if you want it to be a more helmet style, which is the way it was designed. We can go with the Task 16. Just know that there might be one or two air bubbles that I will patch, and I will draw your attention to them in a positive way, because each one of these is weathered, because it's supposed to be a helmet, very battle worn. And we have urethane, which will flex more, and you're probably more accustomed to if you've bought Cowls in the past. That's typically what most makers use, is the Vitaflex, but they go with 40 Shore, I go with 50 Shore. It's a very niche difference. It's just this one has a bit of a tougher exterior than the kind of more rubbery exterior of the 40, which is more like the Michael Keaton Cowls, the Christian Bale Cowls, the typical Batman Cowls. They're more rubber-like. These are meant to be more of like a helmet. So those are your two options. There's color options. We have black with silver accents. We have navy blue with silver accents. And then I really would love to try like a gray one with black accents. So I'm probably going to end up doing it, but if I don't and you want to see what that looks like, contact me and I'd love to make you one, because I'd really just love to see what it looks like. Because of the helmet style nature of this, I think gray with black vented like carbon fiber would look awesome. So that'd be really cool. I'd love to see what that looked like. So that's the bat helmet. You can order one of those right now if you want, and contact me. I'll help you out. 24-inch head, 24.5 max. The next helmet is a very popular character this year and past years, due to a very successful movie that came out, and that is Wolverine. So I have Wolverine ready to mold. I haven't actually molded him yet, but it's right here. I've got the different finishes that I'm happy with. And he's got this kind of really cool, raw looking fiberglass look on the wings. This particular helmet, I took inspiration from a Captain America helmet. There was another individual that did a Cap artwork, like an MCU inspired artwork. I think it was Artman02. And the Rustic Nerd here on YouTube decided to commission that particular version of the helmet that this individual had created from Aztec 3D Studios, and they did a great job. It was like a hybrid Cap helmet Wolverine, but it was too busy in my mind. There was a lot going on. I wanted to kind of simplify it. So we have a very simplified version of it. So it's got the Captain America helmet. You can even see the ear cutout in there. So it will actually fit over your ear like a Cap helmet, with the Wolverine wings on it. And it's got this really nice stone finish on the wings that came up with. And then I kind of wanted this to look pretty battle worn too, because it's supposed to be like a military helmet. That's my version for this one, like my inspiration behind this one. So to achieve this kind of rough, kind of shiny finish, I actually used, I can't seem to find it. I used nail polish. So I gave it like this color that I was happy with, and I did that by hand. And then I went over it with a nail polish varnish, and I thought it gave like a very good helmet look, like a handmade helmet polish feel, instead of like made in a factory. So I figured that if Wolverine was part of the war and he had a helmet like this, it would be very one and done. Like they wouldn't have made multiple of these. He would have taken his helmet and modified it for himself. So it needs to feel kind of like a one and done. There's not multiple of these out there. So we have Wolverine MCU inspired helmet coming up next. This is also a 24-inch, probably because it's modeled by the same individual. It's probably going to be very similar to the size of this. They actually look like they're about exactly the same size. So I'm guessing a 24.5 inch head on this one. Also will be made of Task 16. And urethane versions would be an option as well. This is not a finished paint job. This is just a paint job that I did on it for a finish. So it's gonna be molded like this so that I have these two finishes on there. Order it in whatever color you want. We can do X-Force kind of like this with black and silver. We can do yellow. We can do, yellow and black. We can do yellow and brown. We could do orange and black, like X-Men Evolution. Like there's a lot of different versions we could do. I've seen blue too. I've seen like a blue Wolverine, like a blue and black would look cool too. I've also seen people say that this kind of looks like Hawkeye. So you could do like a purple and like magenta version if you wanted to do Hawkeye. You could probably use this for Hawkeye as well. So that'll be next, Wolverine. And he's ready to mold. I just haven't gotten him molded yet. I got all my materials here. I just haven't had a chance. My kids are sick and just haven't had a chance. So those are the updates, guys. Let me know if I can help you out with a bat helmet or a Wolverine helmet once they're ready to go. And the female Cowls. Okay, so there's 3 coming out so far. We got Catwoman, original design, helmet. We have a Batgirl, original design, helmet. And the most proud one I am, that I'm the most proud of, is Harley Quinn. I think the Harley Quinn that's coming out from Edge Designs is probably the coolest Harley Quinn mask that I've seen. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I posted some progress of it in the costume group, and I've had so many messages about it, and for good reason. That one is so good. Like, props to Quest for Effects. I gave him a rough idea of what I wanted. I'd drawn something out, and he just ran with it, and it looks incredible. And there's nothing else like it. And it's going to go great with any Harley Quinn costume that you decide to do. It is so cool. And obviously, those ones are going to have a 2-tone paint job. They'll be black and red, or you can pick whatever color you want. Primarily, they're going to be black and red, but we can do a black and blue version. We can do, you know, out of the colors I have right now, but the sky is the limit. You can do whatever color you want, as long as I can get a paint that adheres to it. So that's going to do it for the video, guys. Here is the teaser of those helmets that are coming, and thanks for watching. Peace out, and be good people.